Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our first webinar of 2023, How Time Flies. Today, we are talking about tax. And yeah, I'm afraid to say it's about tax. But the good news is we're talking about wealth tax. So it may apply to some, it may not apply to others. So with me today is our tax colleague, Pedro. Hello, Pedro.
Hello, Alex. How are you doing? Good.
Very good, thanks. Very good. And basically, Pedro is our specialist tax lawyer based in our Costa Blanca, Ciudad Quesada office, and we're going to be talking about wealth tax today. Okay, so Pedro, what is the wealth tax and who has to pay it?
Okay. It is important that we do not mix the wealth tax, okay, with the income tax. Okay, the wealth tax is a tax, okay, that it is based on the assets that we own and not the income that we earn. Okay. It is a tax that it is published by the state, okay, but it is collected by the autonomous regions, okay. But the main question that we have to do is who is obliged to declare, to pay this tax, right? Okay. In Spain, all the people that has large patrimonies, okay, should check if they have the obligation or not to pay the wealth tax. Okay, as said, it is collected by the autonomous regions. Depending on the autonomous region where you are located, okay, you will pay or not pay wealth tax. Okay, what the state law says is that every person that has a patrimony value of 700,000 euros ahead, okay, need to declare the wealth tax. However, there are autonomous regions that are not the same that the state, okay? For example, in the Valencian community, okay, they have put a requirement of 500,000 euros to submit the tax. Okay, there are another regions like Andalusia or Murcia, Andalusia where the Costa del Sol is located, that have eliminated the tax. But does that not mean that you are not going to be affected by this, as we will explain later? Okay.
So what we're talking about, Pedro, the general law in Spain says that if you've got assets, and this is an individual,
yes,
you've got individual assets or a series of assets over the value of 700,000 euros in Spain, then you pay wealth tax. And yes, also some autonomous regions, and there's 17 autonomous regions in Spain, they basically have the opportunity to lower or increase that amount. And yes, in the case of, for example, the Valencian region, as you said, that has been reduced from yes, 700,000 to 500,000.
Yes, that is correct. Yes, in the Valencian community, the government has lowered the limit.
Okay. So as you know, we act for a lot of non-resident clients buying properties all over Spain. If I'm a non-resident, am I still obliged to pay tax or to declare this tax?
Yes, unfortunately, yes, you have to declare it, okay? But the good news is that you only have to declare the assets that you have in Spain, okay? So, for example, if you are a tax resident in Spain, you will need to declare your assets worldwide. That means if you have property in the UK, you have to declare it. You have property in Spain, you have to declare it. Okay, everything sums up. Okay, but if you are non-resident, okay, you will only need to declare your Spanish property.
Okay, so that's a really important distinction. And so, you know, I'm a tax resident in Spain, and if I've got other assets abroad, then that is included in the wealth tax calculation.
Yes.
But if I'm not a resident in Spain, and when we talk about non-resident in Spain, a non-Spanish tax resident is someone who spends less than 183 days or nights in Spain from January to December.
Yes, that is correct. Yes. Okay. 183 days in the calendar year.
Okay, what assets must be declared in the wealth tax then, Pedro?
Well, the main assets that you have to bear in mind is properties, real estate, deposits in bank accounts, shares in companies, financial products. Okay, those are the main asset that you have to bear in mind.
Okay, and for a resident, and is it the same? When does it have to be paid? When does the declaration have to be made?
Okay, this declaration have to be made through the form 740. Okay, and it is paid and declared in the same period than the Spanish income tax, which is between early April and the end of June.
Okay, and that's the same for non-residents?
Yes, the same for non-residents. Yes.
Okay, and you know, we would be asking the same, I think. Is it possible to deduct any expenses or debts that you might have from the wealth tax?
Yes, it is possible. Every debt or any charge that affects the value of your assets could be deducted in the wealth tax. Okay, the main debt that we have to bear in mind is the mortgage. Okay, but this is very important. Okay, we are not allowed to deduct the guaranteed debt, only the outstanding debt on the property at 31st of December of that year.
Right. So basically, we'll be submitting our wealth tax, or those lucky clients will be submitting their wealth tax calculations in April to June this year. If they had a mortgage at the end of December 2022, that's the amount that they can deduct.
Yes, that is correct. For example, if at the end of December I have an outstanding debt of, I don't know, 30,000 euros, that is the amount that I can use to reduce the wealth tax.
So Pedro, if we have a client in the Costa Blanca region who has a property of €1 million and it's owned 50-50 husband and wife, so they own €500,000 each, would they have to pay any wealth tax?
Okay, assuming that they don't have any other assets like bank accounts or shares or any other asset that they need to declare. If they only have their half in the property, they will not be obliged to declare the wealth tax. Okay, because they were on the legal limit of the wealth tax.
Okay, and then you know, we act for lots of clients who buy nice valuable properties over the value of 500,000, and in order to qualify for the golden visa, they have to buy at least 500,000 euros worth of property. So if it was a husband and wife buying a property, say of 700,000 euros, and moving to Spain, one of them has to buy 500,000 euros, but rather than that same person buying or paying the full amount and registering the property in their name for the full amount, we'd always recommend, therefore, to mitigate wealth tax, that one of them has 500,000 euros and the other has 200,000 or 300,000 euros, whatever the difference is, and to kind of to apportion the purchase price.
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
Okay. Is it possible so we've talked about you can deduct mortgages. Is it possible to deduct any other costs?
Yeah, sure. If you have a personal loan, for example, okay, you can use it to deduct to reduce the capital gain taxes. Okay, if you have a charge in the property, for example, a use registered for a third person, okay, you can make a value of that use, that charge, and use it as a reduction in the wealth tax.
Okay. All right. And now this is the biggest question. How much tax is payable?
That is a good that is a good question. Okay. The tax is proportional. That means that as much as you have, the more you will pay. Okay. For example, the tax begins on 0.25%, okay, and amounts at until 3.5%. Okay, so patrimonies above 10 million euros, okay, will pay 3%. Okay,
3.5%.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, for example, patrimonies between 150,000 euros and 700,000 euros, okay, will pay 0.25. Okay, it's proportional. It depends on the amount of the value of the real estate.
So we've got a sliding scale, and the sliding scale kicks in or applies as soon as the local threshold has been reached. So, for example, Mr. and Mrs. in Valencia region can buy 500,000 euros worth or have 500,000 euros worth of assets each, and it's only after €1 million that they would have to then start to worry about wealth tax. But in the great scheme of things, because it is a sliding scale, the more you have, the more tax you pay, but it actually starts at a low rate at 0.25.
Yes,
it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
No.
Okay. And what we'll do is we will obviously we'll publish. If you have a look at our website, www.mylaw in Spain, personal legal services, we've got a tax page there, and this video and other videos will be there, and we'll have the wealth tax tables there for you. Okay, and then finally, Pedro, are there any other taxes that could affect my Spanish estate?
Actually, yes, because as we have been explaining, regions like Andalusia and Murcia have eliminated the wealth tax. Okay, but they have received a reply from the central government. Okay, because the central government has published another tax that has been called the solidarity tax. Okay, it is a tax that is based on patrimonies on estates which has a value between 3 million euros and 5 million euros. Okay, that tax has the same rules, the same periods, the same everything than the wealth tax. Okay, what does that mean? That you are going to pay twice? No, because the new tax allows to use the wealth tax paid to reduce the new solidarity tax. That means that persons that have paid the wealth tax, in fact, they are not going to pay solidarity tax because they are already paid. They are already paid patrimony tax, and the rules to calculate it are the same. Okay, but regions like Andalusia or Murcia that have eliminated the tax are going to pay solidarity tax. That, as said, is the very same tax that the wealth tax. Same calculation, same limits, same reductions, same everything.
But instead of paying it to Andalusia, they pay it to the central government.
Yes, yes.
So I'm sure Andalusia and Murcia will have something to say about them. They'll probably introduce a lower wealth tax, or they'll introduce a wealth tax again. But the solidarity tax only applies after 3 million euros.
Yes, that is correct. Yes,
and that's 3 million euros of assets in the name of one individual person. So again, Mr. and Mrs. could have assets of 6 million.
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
Okay, well, I hope you found today's video useful. Thank you, Pedro, for answering those questions about the wealth tax. If you would like to set up a meeting or call to discuss your wealth tax obligations, please contact us. Send an email or give us a phone call, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you've got. Thank you very much.
Okay,
thank you, Pedro.